Thank you again, Skye, for taking the time. How are you today? Thank you for coming on
Yeah,
the show.
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very, very well. You look nice and cozy there.
I am very cozy. Yeah, just about to go to bed.
Where's the do you wind down with a nice book, cup of tea, or have you got the alternative rock in coming up with new ideas for the music?
That's a really cute question. To be honest, I get most of the inspiration. If I ever run a bath, I'm in the bath for like 3 hours. I like turn like into a shriveled raisin because I'm just there thinking. But before bed, yeah, maybe a cup of tea or the one with that generation where, it's, TikTok until you pass out. And
I mean, we're
I've been
millennials,
trying,
man, aren't we?
I know, I've
Yeah.
been trying to avoid that and just like, I don't know, just be by myself and my thoughts before bed.
Have you ever checked how many times you pick up your phone every day? It is a bit scary sometimes.
It's very scary. And whenever I get the notification saying like, "Oh, your screen time is down like 15% this week." I'm like, "Yes." It's like a proper sense of achievement.
Mine keeps going up. What do I do,
Oh man.
Sky? What do you think I should be doing? How do I?
I don't know,
I mean,
man.
this is my
Meditate.
job, so that's right. Meditate, are you? Are you into meditating?
No, but I've heard it's very good.
No. Oh shit. So you were
But I
one
know
of
people who do it and they say good
yeah.
things, so maybe it's worth trying.
I only ask because every actor I have on seems to do meditation. It seems to be go hand in hand with acting for some reason. Don't know why.
Yeah, I suppose acting a lot of the time is sort of centering yourself. It's kind of like it's weird. It's a mix between sort of detaching yourself from your own emotions, but also utilizing them. So I feel
Mm.
like, a lot of the time actors tend to, I don't know, you need to be kind of clear-headed. So it's probably why meditation's a good practice.
So you grew up in the UK, right? But you were born to parents of the US of
Mhm.
A. So,
Yeah, the US of
but
A.
you grew up in London or the UK, right?
I did, yeah. So I was born in London, and raised just outside of it.
So you prefer London over the States at this point? I mean, you're a dual
Uh,
citizen, are you? Yeah,
yeah. So when I was
that's handy.
19, yeah, very.
Yeah.
So throughout my childhood, we'd go visit family. Even though we were so far away, I was able to have quite a nice relationship with my family. We didn't have nice things, but we did go see family, which was,
Yeah.
I much prefer. Um, but when I was 19, I thought, oh, maybe I'll utilize the dual citizenship and just sort of experience living alone. And so I went to LA for a bit, really until I ran out of money, and it was definitely a different experience. And I think if I'd picked any other city, I would have enjoyed it more. And if I had gone over there and like, because obviously, like, I'm an actor, and I sort of went over there not with the intention to book anything because I'm not that naive, but I was like, I'll go over there to experience a different city and work out how I live alone and what I want to do with with my time, just be an individual, and if something happens, something happens. Um, but I think the culture around actors and acting in LA is so like different from the culture in the UK. It's a lot more image based, kind of cutthroat. Whereas my experience in the UK has just been a bit more like, I guess, wholesome, or like, I
Mm,
think it's more about it's less about how you look and more about what you can deliver.
mhm.
Um, which I really like a lot. So I think for now, yeah, I'm quite happy being being based here.
So when did you move back here? Did you say? How long were you there? You moved to LA when you were
Yeah.
19. How long were you there
Yeah, I
until you
wasn't
went
there for
back?
very long. I was
No.
there for a few months,
Oh, really? Yeah.
and then I just came back. Yeah.
Yeah. And were you doing like random jobs at the time, like retail
Yeah,
jobs
jobs,
or yeah?
meeting. Oh, what? So I didn't get a job while I was out there. I was working at Top Shop actually, which doesn't exist anymore.
Top Shop,
For
what's that?
Top Shop.
It
Oh,
rings a
so
bell.
you know H&M?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
have H&M? So it's
yeah.
like H&M,
Okay.
um, something like that.
Oh, so
Just
they went
fast
bust.
fashion.
Yeah.
They did, yeah. They don't exist anymore because of COVID. Um,
Shit.
but yeah, I worked in retail for ages and just saved up a bunch of money, and then I was doing acting jobs on the side, and just went to LA and
Because
lived. Yeah.
your first acting gig, correct me if I'm wrong, was in a Steven Seagal thriller, and
Yeah.
you were about 10 years old, right?
Yeah, would have been about 10.
How much do you remember from that? Because I can tell you right now, I don't know. I don't remember a single thing from when I was 10, but you were on the movie set like that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it was very it was a very unique experience. So I do remember quite a bit of it. So we were shooting in Romania. Never been there before, and
wow.
I went with my dad, and um it was just fun, you know. I mean, it's a Seagal film. It is what it
Yeah.
is. And you know, it was a lot of action, and you know, I had to cry a lot, and it was a good time. Like there's a scene I remember quite well. I think I didn't have to be, my character was basically pushed off a balcony, I think, at one point, and they had set up a bunch of boxes below the balcony for the stunt actress to fall on top of, that I was just staring like, I want to do that so bad. And I somehow, this fucking 10-year-old, in fact, I think I would have been maybe even 9 when we were shooting, because it would have come out a year later.
Damn.
I think, I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
this child, I somehow managed to convince the stunt coordinator to let me be pushed off a balcony and land in the boxes. And it was very, very fun. And I'm so happy it happened. It didn't go on film. They used the stunt actress, but yeah, just between takes.
So
That
the
was like
stunt
the
actress
highlight.
for a 10-year-old, is that another 10-year-old or is that like an older?
No, it's just a very small woman.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So it's an
Yeah.
adult. Yeah. Damn, I'm gonna have to watch this movie. I haven't. Have you watched it recently?
I haven't recently, no.
No.
I should. I think I have it on like, I think I have it on DVD somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. What an experience. So, how do you actually? Did your dad put you up for that, or how did that even come about? Did you say you
No,
wanted to be an
so
actor at that time?
yeah, well, my first dream, I started figure skating. It's a very weird pipe,
Yeah.
but I was my first dream was to be an Olympic figure skater, but I quickly worked out I didn't really have the discipline for that. I just really loved the performance of it, and like the dance and the putting on a show. And one of the skate mothers or skate grandmothers there sort of noticed that I was just super into like performing, and um she knew there's like a Saturday stage school near my old area where I grew up, called Jackie Palmer, and she knew the woman who ran it, and she just said, "Oh, you should audition for this stage school." Excuse me. And so I did, and I got in, and they had like an agency attached to the school, and so on Saturdays I would go do dance and singing and act, like, you know, it was like a 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. thing. And then as a perk, if auditions come through, we can send you out for them. And I ended up, I think that the Seagal film was one of the first auditions I actually went up for. And with one job, you know, another comes, and eventually it just kind of became a regular thing.
So your first video game, your first foray into
Yeah.
video games, correct me if I'm wrong, Euro Truck Simulator 1 and
So
2.
that wasn't the first, but it
Okay.
was early on. Yeah.
What was the first? Do we remember the first?
Yeah. Well, the first was a game called Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh, that was before then. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, a Nintendo game.
Shit.
That was my first voice job.
That's a big one to start with. When was that? Back in 2014, earlier?
No, it would have been 2017,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2017, I believe.
And did you know what you were getting into? Because that
No.
fandom is a bit, there's some great parts of it, and then there's some also a bit crazy parts of that.
Definitely a mixed bag
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I absolutely didn't know what I was getting into. Though I had heard, I think I might have seen Xenoblade Chronicles like in like a shop before. Like I did recognize the name, though I hadn't played it. And then when I mentioned it to, because it was under a code name for weeks, I didn't know what we were doing for a long time until I asked. Um, and I mentioned it to my boyfriend's brother, and his eyes went real big because he's a proper gamer, and he was like, "Oh my god, you're doing Xenoblade Chronicles 2? That's like a huge game." And he told me all of the like lore about it, how they didn't think that it would go to the UK or outside of Japan, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, interesting. And so then the game came out, and yeah, like the fan base is just absolutely bonkers. They're brilliant and funny and complicated, and have completely changed my life. Yeah, no, definitely a very important game to me.
How did your life change from that one?
So when before it had come out, I wasn't even releasing music yet. It was always just kind of like I don't know, a pipe dream or something that I thought maybe one day. Because I've been writing since I was a teenager, but I never really had the confidence to do it, and it's a lot of
Writing
money.
music?
Yeah. And it's a lot of money to put out as well, and just money I didn't have. And so, and I also went through like some health stuff. And when the game came out, Sam, my boyfriend, and another friend of mine, Alejandro, mentioned, oh, have you heard of Twitch? You should stream it. And I never had it. Well, I think I might have heard of Twitch, but I hadn't like gone on it or like knew anything about it. And I think at this point I was sort of thinking how nice it would be to release some music, and they said, some people can make good money on Twitch. And that made me feel a bit weird, because I was like, you're literally just playing video games. Like, why would anyone pay for that? And why would anyone care? But I tried it. I posted a tweet actually about it, and I got more responses than followers I had at the time.
What was the tweet?
Just basically asking like the general Xenoblade people whether they would be into me streaming it.
Oh, right. And you got a big response. Yeah.
They were into it. And so I did that, and I thought, well, the way I can justify it to myself is if I split the money down the middle and send half of it to the Cystic Fibrosis Trust, because I have cystic fibrosis, and then send the other half of it to like an art fund where I can use it to like create my song, like, and thinking I wouldn't get very much, and I ended up getting far more than I thought I would get.
Awesome.
And so from there, I like made a Patreon that I'm still using and utilizing today to make music. And I basically wouldn't probably be able to fund my music without that stream having had happened and that game having had happened.
Well, your voice lines in Smash Brothers, is that you in Smash? Because that's pretty crazy. That's like,
yeah,
that's a pretty cool thing to say you're in Smash. I mean,
yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know. I had to pinch myself when I got the call. Yeah, so that was Smash. That was just a separate.
So you come in for a couple of days and do that?
Yeah, so we did the whole game, and then the DLC, and then got a call to come back, and I was like, oh, is it another sequel or another DLC? And it was Smash. Which was very cool, and I had to keep it because like the amount of messages I got from people, like since 2 came out, they were like, "Oh, you're gonna be in Smash. You're gonna be in Smash. Is Pyra gonna be in Smash?" I was like, "I don't fucking know," and then ask them.
Oh man, I can imagine.
Then eventually,
those Smash fans. Yeah,
I don't know. I think I was sat on that news for a really long time, just like simmering, because I knew how excited people would be when it finally came out. But to answer your other questions, Yeah, I mean, if you're into JRPGs, go for it. It's very story heavy. There's quite a lot of hours of like cinematics or cutscenes. Um, great work for a voice actor. But yeah, yeah. So if you really want to like commit to a game, it's very long and very well done. Um, there's about 1,000 side missions to do. It will keep you busy,
Oh, so we're
which a lot
talking
of people.
hundreds of hours
Oh
to get
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah,
People
this is a
really
big one.
sink time into it for sure.
But that's with
Um,
every JRPG I feel like that I've played. They're
yeah,
always 100 hours long and
yeah,
demand so much from me. Maybe that's why I haven't played as many as I should have.
yeah. Because you can't.
Yeah,
We only live so long.
I know, right? You can only pick a
But I
handful
would
in our
I would
lifetime.
definitely recommend it if JRPGs are
Yeah,
something that you enjoy.
awesome. And how do you look back on that experience all these years later?
Um, Fondly, for sure. It was a lot of fun. Um, yeah, yeah, fondly.
And excuse my ignorance, but there was a new game that came out, right? There was a third game, and you weren't
Hmm.
in that one,
No, it's set in a different time.
right? So if they were to do a fourth one or whatever, and in your time you would come back, cool.
Oh yeah,
So there's
totally.
still a chance that
Yeah.
you're coming back, right? It's
I
not
would
over
I
yet.
would go back if they wanted me to. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, fingers crossed
Mm.
that something happens there. But okay, Dead Island 2.
Mm.
Talk to us about this one because is this the first time you've been a main character, a playable character, a badass? So this must be
Yeah.
cool to play a Paralympian kick-ass girl. Talk to me about it.
She's definitely up there as one of my favorite characters I've ever played. I mean, like the characters in Xenoblade that kicked ass, they were cool. But I think I mean, yes, she's the first playable character I've played, though the other characters were main characters. You couldn't play them.
Yeah, but they were
Um,
still main. Yep.
but Amy is probably closest to me, I guess, in terms of characters that I've been able to play. Um, just in that I don't know, just it was very easy to just have fun. Like I didn't feel taxed. Like the whole, I mean, Dead Island is just a good time. Like the whole game, start to finish, is just fun. Like it
It
doesn't take
really
itself
is.
too seriously.
Mm.
It's gory, it's juicy, it's silly, it's just perfect. And the I went into it as a fan of the franchise anyway because I played the first game years ago, and
Nice.
loved it. So I kind of knew what to do. Like I knew what the tone was. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was just brilliant. I loved it.
I gotta say, I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, admittedly, but this one really pulled me in. It was, as you said, it was
Mm,
really fun. Love the characters. The didn't take itself too seriously at any moment. Even the
mm.
voice lines that you had and some of the other guys that played the other main characters, it just seems like you're coming into the booth and having a blast with
Yeah,
these
it really
lines.
was. And
Yeah,
like the people who recorded it as well, like I can't sing enough praises for the team because they really like they made sure that we not only knew like all of the lore and like I think like they dedicated maybe 1 or 2 hours to my first session of just talking about the world and like the
oh, that's
story
cool.
and
They don't usually do
like
that, do they?
no, they don't. And
No.
I it was really valuable because
Mm,
I've never had that experience where they just sit you down and they're like, this is the universe of Dead
that's really
Island.
cool. Yeah.
And I think it really helped our performances because,
Mm,
we then knew what we were walking into. They didn't leave anything up to interpretation. It was all very clear. Um, the team had a really clear vision for which is surprising considering how long it took for this game to get made. But I think at the time that they really got into the swing of the production, like it's actually happening, they really knew what they needed, and um, And they made it fun. Like, it wasn't regimented and it wasn't strict. It was very like, just go in there and do your thing. We trust you and we'll guide you if you need it. Yeah, it was a really great experience.
Yeah, it really was development hell from all the stories I've heard.
Yeah.
And for it to turn out so well is great. It's already sold 1 million copies as well.
Mm.
When did you jump on board to this one? Because I've heard it's been like 10 years. It's been in development
Yeah.
for something crazy like
Yeah.
that. You weren't on it for that long, but
No,
did you
no,
come
I
in
wasn't
like
on it for
before
that long.
COVID or?
It was before COVID. Yeah. I think my first session might have been 2019.
Yeah,
Like
that
late
sounds-
2019, I think. I can't really remember. It's
No,
been
that
so
sounds
long.
about right. Yeah.
But I did quite a lot of sessions actually during lockdown, just with my mic at home.
Oh,
Because we would do like sort of Zoom sessions, but they would use like I think it might have been Audio Movers. They do like a hi-fi audio transfer thing over the internet,
that's pretty cool.
which we used a lot.
So they gave you the mics that they wanted you to use?
No,
or-
I just had some, which was quite lucky
Wow.
because like doing music, I already had access to like great tech. Like I
Mm.
bought a bunch of stuff to do demos and things at home.
I wonder if those ones are used because someone uploaded a video of all your lines. It's like 2.5 hours long. It's
Really?
insane. Yeah, I don't know how they scrape it from the back end somehow. It's really
Wow.
crazy. Yeah. So you can watch it. It's pretty funny because it's got all your efforts as well. Back to
Oh
back.
no, it's
So,
got all my
"Oh,
zombie
ah,"
noises.
all that
Oh,
back to
spoiler.
back. Yeah, the death noises. Yeah, it's hilarious. You should go and watch it. I mean, that is a bit weird for you to go to bed tonight listening to 2 hours.
Just to listen to me going.
But
That's
for
great.
anyone
I'm
that-
gonna have to look for that.
yeah, just look up Amy voice lines Dead Island 2 to do. But
Yeah. Oh, I'll definitely.
it's so funny. Have you seen the gore in this game? The
It's
gore
mad.
system? It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
crazy.
they really went in. I feel like the design, like the attention to detail is just wild. Because my boyfriend bought the game the other day, so we've been playing it, or he's been playing it. I didn't really want to touch it until the stream. But like even just like closets and like little tiny corners of streets, they've just put so much detail into literally every single like minute section of this map. It's mad.
Yeah, well, I don't want to spoil, but there is even a YouTuber streamer house, a full house with everything you can think of: the gaming setup, the streaming plan,
That's wild.
yeah, it's cool. You'll see it when you play. But so you're
Yeah.
streaming it May 2nd, yeah, over on your Twitch.
Yeah, so that's my birthday, May 2nd, and the
Oh, nice! Happy birthday for then.
Thank you. Well, the very first Xenoblade stream was May 2nd as well. So it's kind of like a mini tradition, like for like a major stream for it to start on my birthday.
That's cool.
Which kind of tied in really nicely with
Yeah,
the
how
release of
did
Dead
you get
Island.
the timing so right?
I know people.
Yeah. Can you guys delay it just a bit before my
Just a
birthday?
little
Thanks.
bit.
Yeah. How long do you think that'll take you? Like how often are you going to do it? Because you got this studying and everything else
Yeah.
going on. Yeah.
It probably won't take, I mean, it's not that long of a game, so it probably won't take me too long. But I'll probably do it maybe twice a week. I was thinking maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I think the first day is a Tuesday. But there might be something wrong with that Thursday, so I might do that Friday. I'll work it out, but I'm thinking maybe two times a week. And it
Nice.
maybe will last like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not sure really.
And what character are we playing? Is that a dumb
I don't
question?
know.
I mean, you have to play Amy, right? I mean,
Yeah, I will probably pick Amy.
You
But
have to.
I'm really curious. I really want to enjoy the other performances. So I will probably, maybe not on stream, but in my spare time, I'll maybe go through the game as everybody else.
I know you also did. Was this your first time mocap?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, which was
That's
another
pretty cool.
bucket list thing.
Uh.
I was so excited when I found out that this was motion capture. And which is another reason why I emailed, because I thought, so if you're mocapping this, is that not going to affect the appearance of the character? But they didn't do, like, they did facial stuff, but it was only like muscle movement. It wasn't appearance based. But yeah, it was so much fun doing the mocap, because there was a movie that came out years ago when I was a little kid called Monster House. I'm not sure if you've ever seen it.
What's it about? Who's in it? Let me look this
It's
up quickly.
I can't
Monster
remember who's
House.
in it. Monster House, but
House.
it's one of, I don't know if it's probably not one of the first movies that had motion capture, but it's a very early movie that used motion capture.
I don't know if I've
And
seen. Oh yes, I've seen
yeah,
this.
did it unlock a childhood
Wow,
memory?
you just unlocked something. Did you see that go off?
Yeah,
Man, that's crazy.
it's such a good.
That is a great movie.
Yeah, and I
Man.
had the box set. My grandma got it for me, and on the disc 2, they did like a behind the scenes thing, and it was the first time I'd ever seen motion capture in action. And it was, just a bunch of kids in silly suits, doing the thing. But then like seeing it turn into the movie, I was like, that's magic. I want to do that. And I think that was largely, I mean, I would have been, what, 10, 11? Like, that probably contributed a lot to me wanting to pursue acting, because I thought, if I get to do that one day, yeah, I want to try it. And yeah, it took, what, 15, how old am I now? Yeah, it took 16 years for me to be able to do that. And it was so fun. Yeah, it was a great time.
Were you nervous doing that?
No, I was just really excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have to do any training, or you throw straight in?
No, they kind of threw us straight in. I mean, they gave us the lowdown, like, don't touch the camera and like don't move things, and like, if you need to pee, let somebody know. But yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't overly physical what we had to do. So I guess like just interacting with things, like, because the sensor would be like, if we had to pick up like a block or something, they would be like, don't put your hand over the sensor, because then it will just like disappear like out of the system. If you pick it up like this or like this, not like this. Just little things like that.
Little things, yeah.
Yeah.
So did you get to pick up a baseball bat and swing a few zombies' heads off, or not quite that intense?
Sadly, no. I didn't get to do any of that. Because, like, obviously being a playable character, it has its perks because you're in the whole game, but like that you literally just see that the whole time.
Yeah.
Because it's first person. So I did a lot of this. But yeah, they did a lot of like at the very beginning, you see every character in the 3D, or like most.
Yeah, is that you? Is that scene you?
Yeah, so that was the motion
Awesome.
capture that they kept.
Nice.
They caught that, some stuff at the beginning and some stuff at the end, and I think some stuff in the middle.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it wasn't a very long set. I think we were there for like 1 or 2 days, maybe, just doing small things.
Yeah, because I know for Call of Duty, when I interviewed the guys for that, there was an interesting way that they did the camera for a first person. Like someone would be right behind it, and then, he didn't have to technically be there all day, but he would be there, delivering the lines just to help the authenticity of it. But that wasn't the case for this game, was it? For all those other cut scenes with Sam B and all that, was it?
We weren't in the same room during those cut scenes, though I imagine the actors for Sam B and everybody else were probably motion capture.
Yeah.
Because there was a wall. There was like a wall of weapons that had like the little
Dots on them.
Dots on them. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So I do think that they had people in there, doing the thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I imagine, they did, but it was just me and like I think maybe 2 or 3 other people who were on the same motion capture day, because we shared the cut scenes together. But the gameplay, I think that was separate, because my character was in the first person for those ones, though they probably used the camera as my head, and then just positioned the other actors like Amy was talking to them, or whoever the player character is.
Now, someone bring this up to me to talk to you about, and you might not remember. That's fine, but there was a line where she said something about spiders, and no other character had that. Do you remember
Oh,
this or not?
what's the line? Do you have
I
it
don't know the
quoted?
line, but it was like it implied that you were scared of spiders. Amy was scared of spiders. I just
Oh
wanted you to
yeah.
confirm or deny this
Is Amy scared of
inquiry.
spiders?
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
Amy is you know, she's a tough girl. She's got a wall, you know, but she's only human. I think if she sees a spider, she's gonna get someone else to put it in a jar and take it out of the house.
Sounds like me. I don't want to admit it. What was the
Vocal
most fun
cords be
day on
damned.
set that you remember? In the booth, I should say.
Well, I mean, I've already kind of spoiled it earlier in
Yeah.
this thing, so spoiler alert. But when you find out she can do the rage thing, that was so much fun.
Oh man.
That was
Yeah,
so good because they were
that's a
literally
great
like,
section.
be a fucking zombie. And I was like, okay. And so I just went full on like Last of Us Walking Dead, as like I tried being as zombie-ish as I possibly could, and it was the most fun I've ever had.
So good.
Yeah, it was great. My jaw hurt by the end of it.
Is that all in one session that
That
I
was
mean,
all
that
in one
must kill your
session.
voice a little bit, no?
It did. We did it at the end of the day.
That can't be good for the lungs, Skye. Surely.
Maybe not.
Oh no. Yeah,
I
no,
drank a lot
I
of
figured that was your
honey tea though.
favorite. I figured
Yeah,
that
it
was your
was fun.
favorite part
Yeah.
because that's pretty fun. I would have a blast with that too. Feel
Yeah.
free if you want to you know, reenact that now in front of us all if
Oh
you want
God, I
to.
have neighbors. Maybe not.
The thin
I live in
walls,
a
eh?
flat and there's a baby like right there.
No, that's all good. So you're a big fan of some other games as well, aren't you? Like Assassin's Creed
Mm.
and Mass Effect. I know you've talked about those. Have you been playing anything else this year? Have you had any time to play, you know, any games lately, last year or so?
Um, Last year, what did I play? I've been trying really hard to get through Valhalla, but I never finished it. I kept getting distracted. I
Mhm.
played uh what is it? Watch Dogs, but Legion. I think it's Watch Dogs Legion, the one that's set in London.
The one where
Um,
you can control a granny or a electrician or yeah,
yeah,
you can
I
just
thought
become
that was
anyone.
quite cool.
Yeah.
The voice acting left a little bit to be desired throughout that game, but the
Well, you
the
got,
I
I
thought
think, yeah. Sorry, go
uh,
ahead.
no, I was just gonna say the world they built was very cool, and I loved the kind of um like the fighting style. Like I thought that was really cool. Like you can hack into things, and
Yeah.
that was very cool. What else? Stray. I played Stray. I just played that on stream.
Ah, because you've got two cats yourself, right?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine. I had two cats. One big beautiful boy called Diego, who you could literally just
Oh,
scoop him up and push him around, and he'd just be like, "Love me."
oh.
And then another one called Binks, who was uh, uh she was called Binks because she wandered into our back garden on Halloween while we were watching Hocus Pocus, and she's a black cat. And
Wow,
she,
that's
yeah,
weird.
right. And I don't even
Shit.
know how we would have seen it because I mean, it was like what 2004 or something. So my memory might be hazy, but
Mm.
I'm pretty sure it was nighttime, and I'm pretty sure we didn't really have any light in the garden. But my dad just looked out of the window and was like, I think there's something moving in the bushes. And he went out and he came back and he had this tiny little kitten, this ugly, wet, little big headed, huge eyes cat, probably not even a week old. Like she was
Oh,
tiny.
wow.
And he was like, "There's a cat in the garden," and then we just sort of put her on the floor and was like, "What do we do with this?" And
Yes, we keep.
I guess we keep it. We took her to the vet. We got her chipped and put a collar on her, and she wore it for like a day, and then never wore it again. And yeah, and she got very old. I think she was, I don't know, maybe 18 or something by the time.
Oh, so she had a good life.
She lived a long time, yeah. But she was so weird. She was the weirdest cat. She would just stare like that.
Oh, really?
Like she was so sweet and very strange. But yeah, they both sadly passed away.
Did they pass before or after the game? Because I'm wondering, did the game hit you differently emotionally?
Oh, they passed before the game.
Mm.
It was just nice, I think. Yeah, it was just sweet.
It's not
Like,
really an emotional game. It's more, I mean, there's some parts, but it's more of a heartwarming sort of.
I think if the cat looked more like one of my cats, it would have been more emotional.
Yeah.
But I had a black cat and like a white and brown cat, and the main cat was a ginger cat. So maybe I've been like, oh.
It's like this cyberpunky world. It was so really cool setting.
And I think that was an amazing game, yeah.
So what's your Mount Rushmore of games, your top 4, would you say?
I mean, you mentioned
off the top of your head.
Yeah, off the top of my head. Most specifically, I would say Assassin's Creed 2.
Nice.
That's what really had me fall in love with it. Yeah.
Nice.
That would be my first one. Second one would probably be, I mean, just the full trilogy of Mass Effect. I couldn't pick 1, 2, or 3. I just think the whole thing was great.
We'll call the collection, yep.
The collection. 3 would be, I really enjoyed, well, shall I do old school Lara Croft or the new one? Because I grew up with that. Like, I think Lara Croft is what made me fall in love with gaming, because I played it right at the beginning, like the very first one, where you're like, the first thing you do is go into that like snowy cave and you get like hit by a poison dart and then you have to like fight wolves.
Yeah,
like that's
classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
That's how I started. And when I was a little kid, I got too freaked out by the wolves, so I would just like swim around in the pool and like lock the butler in the cupboard. Like that was my thing.
Yeah.
I think it was everyone's thing.
That's kind of cute. Yeah.
I think that maybe that would be a third, or actually maybe a better third would either be Legend or Anniversary, that came out like, I had it on PSP, like the little tiny one.
Oh, you had a PSP, nice.
Yeah, when I was a kid, and I played that game to death. So either one of those two. And then number 4, it's not a very cool answer, but The Sims. It's a nice way to unwind.
Why isn't it a cool answer? I think it's a great answer. I love The Sims. What's wrong with that?
It's so good. And I play it like, I unwind
the
playing
third
The
one?
Sims. And I've only so I'm playing the 4th one, but it's not
the
best
4th one. Yeah, the 4th one. Yeah.
I think the best one was probably 3. But I'm playing 4 right now, and I've spent an embarrassing amount of money on the expansion packs.
I love their language. Gouda man, hella You can't beat that.
No.
No, it's a great series. Yeah. I haven't put as much hours as you have into 4, just because those expansion packs get me, and they put one out every other month and they're like $20 or whatever. And
it's too
got
much.
the Halloween
really
one, the university, and they're just
well,
that's the model, I guess. That's how they keep the lights on. So
they have started to like release more like free things. Like for ages, like the people who played Sims were like, you've kind of taken us for granted here. And so I think they've kind of had a bit of a shake up, and now we're getting a lot more free stuff. And
I wonder if a subscription model would work better for them, where you get all the expansion packs for, I don't know,
like a monthly thing.
Yeah. Maybe it wouldn't be as,
they'd probably earn more money, to be fair. Because I suppose what would the subscription be like? I mean, I'm sure people would pay like a $5 a month for it, and already you've paid like for 10 other, after quite a long time, you'd have paid for, an expansion pack thrice over or something, in a subscription model. That's probably what they'll end up doing.
Yeah. So Sims 4 is your last one on the Mount Rushmore.
That'll be my 4 then.
Beautiful. Nice. I love it. So just going back to Dead Island 3, my question was,
Dead 3.
What would you do with Dead Island 3 if Amy was to come back again? The playable back. Where would you take it? What setting? What would you do?
I mean, if she were to come back, then that would probably assume that it's spread outside of LA. I don't know. Do you know what might be funny? Not funny, but what might be interesting is if LA became like almost like a purge zone, where the rest of America is like, there's no zombies in it, but LA is like, you go there to shoot things. Do you know what I mean?
That's
Like,
that's kind of a cool idea, yeah.
or like, if there's somebody who's like, if they were to bring back the death penalty, they don't sort of inject you with poison or like stick you in an electric chair or anything. They just send you to LA. You know what I mean? So
that sounds like now, actually.
Yeah.
It doesn't change much from real life.
Oh no.
No.
But you know what I mean? Like that might be interesting because like what we end up finding out about her, she could stay in LA but just be like, I don't know.
I like that. That's cool.
Like, I don't know, somebody who helps keep things. I don't know. I don't know.
You know what? You know what triggered me with Watch Dogs? What about London? That'd be pretty cool, don't you think?
That would be.
I love any game in London. It's just a great.
I mean, England is more of an island than LA, so it might make. Yeah, that would be really cool. Imagine one of the
Dead Island set in LA. That doesn't quite make sense. You've just triggered something in my brain. Sorry, what were you saying?
That's a really cool idea. I'm thinking, I'll just imagine one of the Queen's guards or King's guards now
as a zombie.
He's big, and he's just like.
Yeah, imagine going into the palace and everyone's zombified. That's just cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do, and that's another thing I
don't think the royal family would change very much if they'd been zombified.
And that's another thing I loved about this game, where depending where you went, the zombies were wearing different. There were zombies in bikinis on the beach, and there's zombies in police uniforms around the police, and there's a lot of attention to detail. So that's great. Before I let you go, I do want to hear a bit about your music, because I was listening to it, and Die's a hit, man. You've got a hit on your hands. I think Die is a hit, and the music video, man, you did that really well. That was beautifully shot, choreography and everything.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, how did that all come about? Was that through Patreon or what?
Yeah, so we would have used Patreon to shoot the video. So I directed and edited the video.
Damn girl. Well done.
Thank you. It's a huge, like, before getting into music, I thought that I might, like, if acting didn't work out, I'd just make film. And so I spent a lot of time sort of learning how to edit and direct and write. And so I did the video with my very good friend Dan Emmons, who's a director himself, but with that he was just DOPing. And my other good friend Amelia, who's just an excellent AD. Like, I don't want to work with anyone else. The video came together remarkably quickly, because I was just talking to Dan, like, I really want to do a video for Die. Are you free next week? And so we booked, I think it was 2 weeks actually, where I found the location.
Great location.
So I actually had COVID. I was in I forgot this. I was in the living room, because I was living still with my parents at the time. So I was in the living room and just avoiding everybody, and just sort of sat by myself with my thoughts, trying to avoid that, as you do. So I'm like, I'm going to plan a whole entire music video while I'm healing. And so I found the location. I secured crew. I found the money, and
Damn, what a
it all
hustler.
sort of came together in a few days, and we were shooting, I think, a week and a half later.
Skeleton crew, how many are we talking?
Me, Dan, Amelia, my mum helped with set design. We
Shout out to
had
Mum.
a guy called, shout out to Mum. We had a guy called Fed as gaffer, a guy called Jai as camera assistant. Um,
Wow. So there's a few
that
on
might be
set.
it. Yeah, a couple people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a small crew.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
and a couple people helping. Like my friend Tara was there doing photos, and Sam was there helping with other things. Yeah.
How'd you do the makeup?
Just I did that, and again, my mom helped when I was doing things I couldn't see. But I just kind of, I don't know, I winged it.
Man, is there anything you can't do? Like, can you give us a chance?
I'm really bad at
Yeah.
maths.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
horrific at maths. And actually, I'm
Cool.
facing my demons on this course because a lot of it is very like maths heavy because a lot of it is sound physics.
Oh, okay.
So I've been kind of twisting my thoughts inside out, trying to like work out how to remember all of these equations. But yeah,
I wouldn't have
maths
known
is
there
not-
was equations in music production. Wow, you learn something
Yeah,
new every
well,
day.
it's kind of, I don't know. It's stuff that I feel like I won't use very much once I graduate, but a lot of it is very like, oh, if say a car, for example, is driving past and over here it's this amount of hertz, but over here it's this amount of hertz. How fast is the car going? Kind of thing, because
Interesting.
obviously it goes.
Yeah.
So that will help. Like, there's an equation basically to help you determine the speed of an object if the sound is this and this kind of thing.
Wow. Yeah.
It's just, I think they're just sort of drilling into us how scientific it actually is, and also we're building pedals and stuff, like, because I think you really cut your teeth as an engineer when you actually like engineer something. So we're doing a lot of electronics right now, which is a lot of working out the voltage and the current and the blood, yeah, calculator.
You know what you should have done? So have you played The Quarry?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I interviewed the main lead in that, Siobhan Williams, and she said she also does music, like, and she
Cool.
convinced the director to put her song as an Easter egg in the game after a certain ending. You should have got Die If You Die Too Many Times as Amy. Let's play that song. Come on. Is that a good idea?
That's such a good idea.
It works too, no?
Oh man. Well, if I find myself in the studio with them again, I'll mention
DLC
it.
or something. Yeah, come on,
Yeah.
guys. Nah. Yeah, I thought that was cool. So the stream is in a few days. And yeah, no. Thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Is there anything you wanted to say to the fans of Xenoblade or of Dead Island or anyone that's watching?
Just in general, just thank you so much for sticking with me, those that have. It means the world to be able to continue to create things for you. Thank you, Dan, for having me on your show.
My pleasure.
It means a lot. It was really nice to talk to you. And I hope that, your viewers really enjoy what we've done.
I think you've got a few more fans after today. Thank you so much. And can we get can we hear Amy a little bit before I let you go?
Amy?
Is that possible? If she can come
Sure.
alive?
Is that a clown?
I remember that one. That clown was crazy. I thought the same thing.
No.
That was I hate clown zombies. They're so
I hate clowns. So bring the undead into the picture. I'm fucking out of here.
Thank you for that. Hopefully, you didn't wake the baby, but so we
if
can.
she starts crying, I'll let you know.
So Instagram and Twitter, is that where,
Mhm.
and YouTube, Spotify, you got everything.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm most active on my music accounts. So Deva St. John across the board. That's DevaStJohn.
Yeah, I'll put a
Though on
link in the
Twitter I
description.
use my full name, which is just that, but with Skye Bennett on the other end.
Beautiful. Thank you very
And enjoy
much.
the
And
rest of your day. I hope you don't feel too tired.
I was going to say the same thing to you, but you're about to go to bed, so
I know
enjoy
I'll
your
be
sleep.
unconscious in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you're like me, quick sleeper. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's
Oh,
been an
all right
absolute
then,
pleasure.
man.
Thank you so much. If you're ever in Australia, give me a holler.
I will. Yeah, definitely.